why avoiding delegating your tasks may actually be holding you back as a leader. So, welcome to today. If you're just jumping on for the first time, I'm Kim Heimakers. I am a leadership strategist and executive advisor for women in leadership. And this is going to be a really good topic for you today. If you're finding yourself working like an extra 5 to 10 hours a week on a very conservative estimate, because most of my clients have tended to do more than that, and I did in the past as well, or you're finding yourself taking on too many projects. So you're finding yourself with 2 or 3 more projects that you could possibly get by the deadline, or you're just running like, okay, I seem to be doing everything. I'm overscheduled, I'm overworked, I'm overstretched, and I don't have any time left in my day in order to be more strategic or think of other things to do, then this is a live for you, because we're going to talk all about delegation, but also why not delegating is actually holding you back as a leader. So let's just dive straight into that today. So, all right, I totally get this. All right. So, like I said, I have in the past been guilty of doing the like not delegating, right? You might have found yourself also because you've gotten really successful up to date because you were either individual contributor, or you just found if you're doing all of those key activities, if you're doing the making sure and doing all of the important pieces yourself, that is how you've grown and become successful in your career. So I really do get it, except here's what is going to be like getting in your way, because it was your strength. And because you might think, well, if I let go of any type of control, which has up until now led to my success, it's really hard to let that go again. Right? So let's look at this from a different perspective. So if I were to say to you, okay, well, let's go run a relay race. Now, if you were to run the relay race all by yourself, it's possible, right? You could run maybe faster than the other teams are running up until they likely get to the third or the fourth leg. And you're just not you're going to eventually run out of energy. You're not going to be able to finish that race. And that is what learning how to delegate is all about. Learning to delegate and trust others is really a key to being a successful leader. So if you're finding yourself still going, okay, well, you know what, this needs to be done, and rather than putting it out into your team, you're pulling it back into your own responsibilities, which is again leading to an overflowing calendar, and you're working incredibly long hours, then this might be you where you need to start really looking at, how do I do things differently and how can I shift this? And if you're continuing to pull all those tasks yourself and avoid delegation, like a lot of the invisible leaders that I work with do, then you're likely not going to have anything else to show for it other than finding yourself burnt out, or just kind of deciding that you are not even capable of leading because you can't manage all the responsibilities you have, which I know isn't true. It's just a matter of how do we balance and how do we shift what you're doing, ensuring that your focus and your priorities is on the things that need your level of attention and responsibilities, and you're allowing it also to go through to your teams. So when we look at most successful, sought after strategic leaders, what do they do? Well, they've all learned that to delegate their tasks and trust their team members to take on their responsibilities. Strategic leader who didn't delegate or trust their teams, or even look at Richard Branson, who has got a huge sprawling businesses in different industries. He wouldn't be able to do this unless he delegated to other people. So let's dive into this of how do you start delegating your tasks. So I'm going to share with you one tool today that is from within my decisive courage pillar of the LeadHERship leadership edge formula that I work with, my unique solution. But this is all inside the LeadHERship Accelerator that my clients use to help them with delegating and managing their time, and you can too. I just want to let you know, don't be fooled by its simplicity. Yes, sometimes the simplest solution can be the most effective. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a piece of paper. Yes, and I will even grab one and do it right alongside with you today. And what I want you to do is you're going to make a quadrant. So imagine you've got your quadrant, and ignore the lines on this side. All right. So you've got 4 quadrants. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to create a 2x2 matrix, and you're going to fill each quadrant with tasks and actions that you have on your plate right now. And you could even do this for at home as well, if you like. Now, this can be anything from team meetings to report creation to client follow-up, or really just taking some time for yourself. Now, I want you to break these down as follows. So on your top right, you're going to write at things that you're good at and that you like doing. Okay, so this is on my top right. It might look like your left for you. Good at and you like doing. Now on the top left, you're going to write what are you good at and that you love doing. All right, so what are you good at and what do you love doing? Sorry, that's here. That should be on your top left. Now, bottom right, I don't know if you've guessed it just yet, but you're going to write down something that you're not good at, all the things that you're not good at, and that you don't like. Yes, so that's going to be here at the bottom right. Bottom left is going to be all the things that you're good at and that you don't like. Okay, so there's your 4 quadrants. Now, as you're going through and you want to split all of your activities across these four quadrants. Now, as you're going to grow also into your leadership role, as well as you continue to grow your career, you want to be operating in the top left here, what you're good at, what you love doing as much of the time as you possibly can. Now, I know that's not realistic 100% of the time because there's all things that you might think, oh, I really don't like doing that. It is just part of the job. Okay. But the most of the stuff you want to stay up here. This is also when I find a lot of the women that I work with, they're finding like, well, I'm really stuck in the operations. I'm always crisis and firefighting, all the different crises that come along. Well, here's the thing. Then you're likely still finding yourself in different quadrants. Maybe you're finding yourself at, well, you're really good at managing the operational side of it because that's how you have, accelerated and grown in your career, but you're not liking it anymore. So if that's the case, let's find a way that you can delegate this to your team. So where I want you to start is I want you to start at the bottom right one of the things that you're not good at and that you don't like. Start with those first to delegate those away. And then you can start shifting over to what you're good at and you don't like, and even to what you're good at and you like doing. But here's a reason why this works as well. Because when I speak to a lot of women, it's like, there's lack of energy, right? We're just like, oh my goodness, I feel so tired and exhausted. I'm running off my feet. And yet somehow like there just is never a never ending stream of work. Right. And if you're going to start delegating those tasks that take the most energy from you because you either don't like them or that you're not good at, guess what? All that energy gets freed up in order for you to put more in to other tasks or responsibilities that are in other quadrants. And what you're going to find yourself is you're going to become a more effective leader also because using this, you're going to start prioritizing. Now, of course, there's different priorities that you could still add into this, such as what is your business, like the priorities from your business, what are the priorities from your organization, your team. Those things can all be added in, but just to think of this as a very simplistic, easy way to start taking all of that work and all of the things that I know that are running around in your mind and getting to be very clear as to where do they belong for you in terms of your quadrant, as well as how do you ensure and start moving away to create the space for yourself by delegating those tasks. So I just have this last question for you today. Do you want to keep working really, really hard, doing all of the work yourself because you believe that you can do it faster or better? Or is it time for you to rather focus on delegating and trusting your team to do the work so that you can become a more effective and strategic leader? Now, if that is you, then I want you to DM me delegate. So, because I think I have something for you that can help you immensely. Now, and also don't worry if this sounds like you, if this you're like, "Oh my god, you just described me to a T." Perfect. I have helped over 60 plus different women leaders just like you with my courses and programs. So again, just DM me delegate and let's have a conversation on how I can help you. So thank you so much for listening and we will talk to you again next